Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Well, I hope you're having luck with sourcing fuel. People just driving and hoping that they don't run out before they get to a station that they can indeed buy fuel from. I was looking at the papers. One paper is telling us that fuel coming in from Belgium has been, rejected, and so it's still very, very hazy, not at all clear. We'll be speaking with our correspondent, who is out and about, one of them at least. We have a number of them all over the country. Sharon Ijason is roving in Lagos, and we'll be hearing from her how the matter is going. It doesn't look like it's getting better. Remember that we were told that, that is last week, that by the end of last week, we would be out of this quagmire in Lagos and in Abuja by the middle of this week. Well, I don't know what is the middle of the week, whether it is Wednesday. If it is Wednesday, we're past the middle of the week. We just hope that this thing will sort itself out. But, let me introduce my guest. Mr. Seyi Adetayo, security expert, is in the house again. Thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning.
Indeed, good morning. And we're looking at the Abba Kyari, the suspended DCP, his issue. If you go with newspaper reports, and there are quite a few of them, it does seem as if there's something of an issue. Let me just phrase it as amorphously as that. Something of an issue between the police and the NDLEA as to how this matter should proceed. Now, we ordinary commoners, we just think of it. What is there to ponder? If a person has been indicted, take him, do the necessaries, let him have his day in court, let the evidence speak for himself, and we're over and done with. But people are putting forward all sorts of theories. Among others, that Kyari has a case in the US, that all of this could be a ruse to administratively shackle everywhere, so the man is not free to be taken to the US for examination or interrogation or processing there. Give me your professional and expert opinion as to what is going on.
Okay, so yes, it is a fact that when someone is going through a court process in Nigeria or an indictment, you can't extradite the person until the Nigerian leg of the crime has been sorted out. You can now send the person. However, this is a different case, and it is also an international, crime. So it's not that.
Okay.
It's not that.
That's important.
This is smaller to the one in the US is smaller to this case. The highest they will give him in the US is 10 years.
That is even if he's guilty.
Even if he's guilty, and even if he can do plea bargain, he can even get 5 years or even leave the prison before that time. And then you can't compare American prison to Nigerian prison. This one, according to the act, it might earn him as much as life imprisonment. So it's bigger and huge. And we're talking about organization here, organization established by law. Nigerian police is a product of the Nigerian Constitution. NDLEA is a product of the NDLEA Act. So they can't sacrifice their integrity because they want to protect, and suppose irredeemable criminal. Because if you have somebody that is involved in one case, from one case to the other, to the other, to the other, surrounding just one person, and that brings into question if this person is actually, a man of integrity, ab initio. All the time that, the media was celebrating him, National Assembly gave a rising, standing ovation for him. People weren't really aware of what was actually going on. And that's something that we are not actually advancing our mind to. You see, months ago, or over about 2 years now, something happened at Ozubulu.
Okay.
It was drug related. People were killed because of drug related issues in South Africa, bringing about, a church being attacked, innocent worshippers were killed in the morning, and several other killings followed. Now, this is involved a cartel all the way from Brazil. Mind you, the revelations we are having now is more or less removing the veil from who gave that information to Abba Kyari.
Okay.
So the other party are already aware where the information came out, because as at the time that the drugs were seized, they will have also been doing their own investigation. Who gave these guys out? Now the veil had been removed now, so they know that it was even the people who were involved with the packing, escorting the courier to the airport were the people involved, you know, with this. So
this is like a double cross.
Exactly. So I won't be surprised if we experience similar to Zubulu crisis happening here in Nigeria, because the people that double cross also have those syndicates in Nigeria, because it is part of them in Nigeria that gave the fake drug to be to replace. They are the one who provided the money. The cash was provided right here in Nigeria. The dummy powder was provided here in Nigeria
to replace
and the information
real thing
was sent from Brazil. So this might even lead to a drug war that we are not even seeing, that might begin to unveil both in Brazil, in Nigeria. I've listened to someone's confession that that what happened to him in Brazil, it was one of the creating. It was during one of these NDLEA seizures at international airport, who said at a point in time, police in Brazil came to his house to arrest him and took all his money and everything in his possession. And we asked him why did he say he could not, because it was a syndicated crime. So we're talking about people that are working with police, both, you know, security agencies in Brazil, you know, having their own people within security agencies in Nigeria that they are working with. And this is not to say that the organization as a whole is culpable. It's only unveil the gaps within those organizations that they need to now look into these gaps and try to close. And that's what I've been saying. Nigerian police need to, you know, close these gaps.
Okay, we'll come back and we'll talk about that some more. But as I was saying at the top, let's check with our correspondent Sharon Ijason and see if the situation with fuel has improved. So going over to Sharon now, I believe Sharon is in a filling station in Ikeja. Good morning, Sharon. Aha, good morning, Sharon. Okay, I read your lips. Good morning. I couldn't hear you, but I read your lips. Please, you're in Ikeja there. Why is the petrol station as scanty as it appears to look behind you? Are things better, improving there?
Yeah, it's been a long morning here in Lagos, Nigeria. We've actually experienced some filling station dispense fuel, and some right now this filling station where I am at Ikeja, you would realize that they do not have PMS to dispense to commuters. So it means that this particular filling station is empty. About some few hours ago, I was at the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and we saw that most of the filling stations there were selling fuel to motorists, but the challenge is you have to wait for about 2 to 3 hours before it gets to your turn. Now the question is, how long can residents, commuters continue to go through this process, because this has been on for about more than a week, and many people are already getting tired. Many businesses are already getting affected. There's been a lot of agitation towards the possibility of the fuel scarcity to be reduced to the barest minimum.
Sharon, what can you tell us about NNPC has said that, look, they have 1 billion liters in storage, so there is no problem as to, you know, getting good fuel, and that they will be working 24 hours. But then we're also reading in papers that, well, that statement I made related to NNPC saying it has in storage up to 1 billion liters. But we're also hearing that they're now rejecting fuel because they claim that the adulterated fuel, some of it came from Belgium. So they're actually rejecting fuel. What can you tell us about the whole 1 billion liters of fuel reportedly available to NNPC to sort this mess out? And, you know, yeah, what can you tell us about that? And the fact that they're going to be working 24 hours. NNPC is to be working 24 hours. What does that mean?
Well, that's going to be a lot of work for people would workers of NNPC at the filling station. But from our observation, when TVC News crew drove around Lagos, we could observe that NNPC of the truth is actually selling fuel to motorists. But the concern now is access to the filling station. Everybody knows NNPC has fuel. So it's one thing for them to have fuel. It's one thing for the person that needs the fuel to have easy access to the filling station. So the fuel might be available at NNPC. From our observation, most of the NNPCs, I think we saw about 3 to 4. They have fuel, they are selling, but the issue is access. The queue is long. The truth remains that there is that need for every filling station to have enough supply to dispense to motorists, so that the spread will ease the pains of the average motorist that might want to go about his day-to-day activities.
Yeah. Do you have any war?
And also, it's also worthy of note. It's also worthy of note that for some of the filling stations that are actually selling fuel, they're not selling at the recommended price, which is 165. Today, from our observation, we saw some people sell above the recommended price of that the federal government has given to these marketers. And so also we observed people selling getting the fuel in jerry cans. That's a signal that the black market is open. So it's about the highest bidder.
Yeah.
If you have enough money, perhaps you're able to get some fuel.
But the price issue, Sharon, is a mixed bag, isn't it? Because I've just seen that station, when it is selling, wants to sell at 165 for PMS. But one station around our station here, I think it's a total station, is still dispensing at 162 as of yesterday, if you could get it. So it's something of a mixed bag there. But what I really wanted to ask you, Sharon, do you have any information on the NNPC statement that it's going to be working 24 hours round the clock? Has that been going on?
Yes, it's all over the news. It's all over the news. I can confirm that all the NNPC stations visited this morning had fuel, but I insist, even though they have fuel and they are dispensing fuel to commuters, the concern again is access.
Okay.
The number of people that want to get this product is a lot.
Indeed.
So it's not just for NNPC to have enough, it's about for all the filling stations across the local governments in Lagos State and maybe the federal FCT and other major cities. It's about them having enough to sell to commuters, so that the pressure would reduce and we will have easy access to this product, because this product is essential for our day-to-day activities. You have to you have to transport yourself. If you don't have electricity supply, you have to power the generator. If you own a business, you know what that means to you. So, and you also look at the fact that inflation has actually been funny lately in Nigeria, and we know that the price of petroleum products actually determines the market price at times.
Indeed,
so most people that I spoke to are actually of the view that this should be controlled or nipped in the bud as soon as possible, so that everybody will be able to go about their day-to-day activities itch-free.
Okay, all right, Sharon. And in any case, NNPC is supplying to NNPC filling stations. It's not as if NNPC supplies to whoever has a need, right?
Sure. But like I said, I'm at this particular filling station here in Ikeja, and they don't have PMS to sell to commuters. So imagine,
is that an NNPC station?
Half of this it's not an NNPC station. This is Blue Shore Oil and Gas Limited, and there are a couple of others too that we've come across today that are empty. So if you don't have everybody selling at the same time, there's no way you'll be able to reduce the queue that you'll find in major cities across the country. All
right then. Thank you very much, Sharon, for giving us this update. So I'm sure you still want to continue to check out some other stations in the place. Thank you once again. That's our Sharon Ijason, TVC news correspondent on the beat there, roving all the petrol stations. Okay, so back to studio with Mr. Seyi Adetayo, and he's been telling us some of the intricacies, especially in any case, on the very best of days, that whole drug cartel, drug business thing is going to be a very, very murky affair. And then we now have the situation where in some reports, the police on the one hand and the NNP. No, I got fuel. There's nothing concerns NNPC with this. NDLEA, on the other, they are the people working this whole project. And there were reports that, well, it must be claimed on social media that there seems to be efforts to find a soft landing. Reportedly, again, some aspects of the police, if you can believe that, I still am holding out my opinion on that, if you can believe that, are actually looking for a soft landing for DCP Abba Kyari, and are indeed alleging that NDLEA should probe their own NDLEA men also involved in this, to which the NDLEA is replying on one paper front page, drug cartel working with DCP Kyari are not our officers. So it's like the pushback, say, no, don't bring NDLEA into it.
Well, I don't think there is much there is conflict between the NDLEA and the police on this matter. I think it was the regrettable initial comments by the police, especially the IGP, when they were responding, and I think it has more to do with the amount of information at their disposal at that time. And there is another report or response from the NDLEA clearing, shedding more lights in the matter to say that, oh, I think you got it wrong. It wasn't that they sent the picture to our guys. No, it was Abba Kyari that the picture of the courier was sent to. So the information about the courier and the airports of arrival is between the mole within the drug cartel and Abba Kyari.
Okay.
So I see the way NDLEA works, they use, there are basic things that they watch. One, they look at where you are coming from, they look at your travel history, and they also read body language in terms of unspoken words.
Yes.
So it's not possible for them to actually frisk all passengers coming. So they have to. So and over time, some of these people also have tried to devise.
Profiles that they're working with.
They
Customs, drug people, all of that. They have
they have profile. So it is possible for one or two, a courier to actually escape them. That doesn't mean that they are not working.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So and these people are so good at what they do in terms of this courier. Mind you, also the airport is a new one. It's a new international airport. So and when we have new airports like that, where they've not really built so much asset there, they're cool. They will penetrate that place until you are able to now build. Because Lagos too used to be such penetrable in the past before the fortification. So that's what NDLEA is saying, that this particular instance, our men are not involved. They are not even aware about this courier. So and I think the police are doing what they're supposed to do. As at today, I think I learned that the Police Service Commission has suspended those 4 officers now. So when you are suspended, you're supposed to drop your ID card. You don't wear uniform. You don't even go near the office until you are called back. So see the problem is that.
And it was publicly announced that he had been suspended. So allegedly being able to still continue as a police officer, you can't be a police officer.
Let me tell you what happened.
You must have colleagues.
Let me tell you what happened. When he was suspended, a new commander was posted there. But the commander inherited the structure of Abba Kyari. The guys there were more loyal to Abba Kyari than the new man. In fact, the day when they went for the operation, the 2IC of the current commander was also the 2IC of Abba Kyari. He did not go. The commander was in Sokoto clearing bandits with his team, clearing bandits. And the 2IC was in Abuja, did not go with the boss. He's the one who led the operation. He was actually reporting to Abba Kyari, his former boss. Went for the operation. Even after he had done the operation, he did not tell his boss. It was after the operation has been done, was when he told his boss that was in Sokoto that, oh, I forgot to inform you, that there was this information we received. It was so urgent, we quickly had to intercept it. We've done the arrest, and we've transferred the suspect to the NDLEA.
I see.
So the current commander was not involved. He didn't even know anything.
I want to ask you another question, but Mr. George has come on the line, and I don't want to delay him even longer than he has been delayed already. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guest.
Indeed.
Regarding the fuel, This is what you get. Yes, this is what you get when people are not made to account for their mistakes and errors. If the NNPC managing director had been placed on suspension right from when this thing came up, if the minister had placed him on suspension immediately, by now, this issue would have been resolved. That's why I called you the other day that the minister himself, the president, should have suspended him when this thing came out. Nobody holds anybody accountable.
Yeah.
That is what is happening. I won't be surprised if this scenario continues for the next 1 month.
Huh. Well, I hope they will be embarrassed enough to not let that happen.
So this is the second week now, and there is no indication that it is easing up, and nobody has been made to face any music
So far, yes.
I don't understand where we are. Look at the NDLEA case. It's another picture of what actually goes on in our country. NDLEA has been comatose until Buba Marwa came in there. Uncle Yori, I will not be surprised. People will be working on how to get Buba Marwa out of that place now. That's what they did to Magun. Since Magun left, was removed from the EFCC, has any high-profile case come up? Has anybody been arrested for any high-profile case in Nigeria? Anti-corruption agenda of the president virtually died after Magun.
Yeah.
So,
all right then.
We are used to it.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. And indeed, apologies once more for keeping you waiting. Sheyi, the other thing I wanted to find out from you, we are told that the bulk of evidence that is going to be used, that is available to be used in the case of Mr. Abba Kyari, was actually inadvertently provided by he himself via his WhatsApp, conversations,
WhatsApp calls.
So the question I wanted to ask is that when WhatsApp tells us that it's an end-to-end encrypted app, and only you and the other party are aware of what's going on here, how did that happen?
Okay, now let me explain end-to-end. What they're saying is that, you see, just like every computer system, your phone is like a client. So my phone is also a client. Are you with me? So you are sending a message from your phone, I'm receiving from here. So both of us, both our devices has its own storage capability. So whatever is stored on my phone is on my phone.
Yes.
Whatever is stored on your phone is on your phone.
Okay.
But what goes between your phone to my phone, in that through the medium within which it is being transferred, it cannot be intercepted.
Okay, you can't tap. You can't tap the phone.
You can't tap that message as it is transferring.
Live.
But if my phone is compromised,
yes,
all the information on my phone can be seen.
Okay.
Including all my WhatsApp conversation with you. If my phone is compromised, it can be seen. If your phone is compromised, it can be seen. But nobody can come in between, are you with me, and come into the middle and stand in the middle to be receiving what you are sending to me, and they send it to you on WhatsApp. So that is the encryption. That is, as it's leaving my phone, it's going to be encrypted. It will only be decrypted when it gets to your own phone.
I see. So they got hold of the
devices are there.
The device.
Yeah.
And that's where the thing
It's not even Kyari's phone. The person he was dealing with.
Okay.
His phone has all the information.
I'm going to come back to it because Ada, apologies. Good morning, Ada in Jos. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Yuri and Mr. Sheyi. It's Ada calling from Jos Plateau State.
Thank you.
Your guest has spoken very well, and I'm happy. He said what was going on my mind about this Abba Kyari thing. That the case in America is not as serious as the one here. What he has gotten himself allegedly, according to you, allegedly, because the grammar of allegedly doesn't fit in well in the Nigerian scenario, the one that happens recently. But let's keep on saying that because that's what people want us to be saying.
It's the right thing to say.
I don't know. What I want to say here is that all these conspiracy theories that if they just set up to make sure it doesn't go there, I don't believe. Maybe I might be wrong, but I don't believe that the new NDLEA boss Marwa would want to get involved in that kind of setup. I doubt very much if he would want to do that. But anyway, in Nigeria, you can never tell. The oxygen we breathe is corruption itself. But I doubt very much if he would want to do that. But it's really unfortunate that the security agencies that are supposed to live above board and fight these drug crimes and any other crime. That's why we have the insurgency today. It's because of these drug things. When they use take it, they go haywire, you know.
Yeah.
So they are the ones deeply involved. And then when we're talking about, just like your guest talking about that we had a larger than life picture about this Abba Kyari. You see, when if it were in America, you know, when the Evans case came up, even though Evans was said to be involved in kidnapping and what have you, Evans himself, I heard him, he said it. That look what he was testifying. That look what that some of his property has been taken over by Abba Kyari. He said it himself, but everybody swept it under the carpet. That was a red flag then. But nobody, everybody, he's a privileged officer. So, and if he wants to testify, if he testifies, I bet you, Mr. Kyari, many people will go in for it. But in Nigeria, you know the way things should go. And then when it comes to fuel, I said it the other time. As far as I'm concerned, do you know that this first thing that is happening is an indirect way of removing that subsidy? So at the point when you now stay all day waiting, queuing up to get fuel and you cannot get it, and then you go to black market and buy it 600, 700, depending on where you're buying from, or even more, it will now force us to accept that removal. So it's like coming through the back door.
Okay, okay, Ada, thank you very much. A little conspiracy theory there. Thank you very much for calling in. Okay, stay with us, please. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll continue with Mr. Seyi Adetayo, security expert, and indeed taking your calls. Okay, welcome back. And well, Mr. Ade in the UK, in fact, I think I should say Chief. Good morning, Chief, in the UK.
Good morning, Dr. Yori. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Okay, quickly, please.
Good morning to my brother there, the expert in it.
No, Mr. Seyi Adetayo, security expert.
Good morning.
Security expert. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me start by saying this parable to you, Mr. Dr. Yori. If you want to eat, you don't talk. If you are eating, you don't talk. And if you are eating, you don't talk. You see this three? Digest it. That's a parable. So that relates to the NNPC investigation that doesn't get headway. Abba Kyari, those who are trying to save Abba Kyari from this situation, if you are eating, don't talk. If you are eating, don't talk. If you are about to eat, don't talk. Because if you talk, they will talk. So you don't eat, why did they talk? So that's the parable I want to speak. That's Nigeria for you. Digest the rest. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ade, in the UK, for calling in. Well, okay, let's just leave it at a parable. Since you didn't interpret it, we have heard it. I understand at least don't talk while you're eating lest you choke. I understand that much. So beyond that, I guess it's left to the imagination of every viewer. But the important thing where that links to everything is especially in social media, all the accounts going on as to the alleged tug of war that went on. I don't know if it is still going on because the president stepped in, I think, and had said, just do the right thing. Release any suspect to NDLEA, and that's how that came about, reportedly. Ada said, you keep on putting allegedly and reportedly, because we went there, and these things have to be proved at the end of the day. But the conspiracy theory that is rife out there, that it's not in the interest of some aspects of the Nigeria police to throw him under the bus. In fact, he's reported, that is Mr. Kyari, he's reported to have said at a certain time, before all of this new wave of trouble came about, that if you extradite me to the UK, I will talk, I will sing.
Let's be honest with ourselves. What does Abba Kyari has to say that can be injurious to the nation? It can only affect individuals that he has been, going to bed with. Not the nation. It's just a deputy commissioner of police in charge of IRT. How much of classified information that can be injurious to national security can be in his possession?
That IRT has been disbanded.
No, it has not been disbanded.
Okay.
IRT still exists.
But
I think what the Nigerian police is trying to do is, to try to put some
intelligence response
team. They, as we speak, they are in the northwest, clearing bandits. They are working.
Okay.
You see, you don't hear so much noise unlike before. You see, what Abba Kyari was doing was paying PR experts, to write things about him, put things up there in the media, media sensation, creating sensation around him. And I appreciate.
But how did he hoodwink everybody, including the National Assembly?
Yeah, because of all those media. And mind you, some of these people also, we even sponsored those motions, benefited from Abba Kyari. In terms of having cases, they will talk to Abba Kyari. He will go and help them to, resolve those cases and the rest. So, all of it, he was able to fool a whole lot of people. But, when I started reading those things, and I said, the way this guy is going, he's going to run into trouble. And it actually happened. You see, when CP Frank Mba came on board after the tenure of Ringim, and he came on board, he tried to sanitize those areas. If you notice that, after a while, you don't see him actually being the one talking about arrest anymore. It was Mba. So he took over that control of what information goes out from the Nigerian police to the press. Whatever we are parading must come from the office of the first PRO. But you only see that Kyari will now take those pictures, he will now be sharing it on his own private, social media profile. But when it comes to official pronouncement, official release, it comes, it was coming from, Mba, and that's part of the things that this current IG
now. Mba himself has moved on.
But he has actually established that.
Yes.
And if you see what this current IGP is doing, he's building on what his predecessor did, and he's a no-nonsense man. To be honest, Nigerian police is so large, so much, is within the Nigerian police to be taken care of, and it's not something that we can achieve overnight. So this is another Pandora box that has been opened for him to try to solve right now. And we look forward to him, and it must really go down. Like I said before, basic things like, what is the Nigerian police uniform? It should start from the uniform. Try to take control of what uniform. We don't even know which uniform Nigerian police are supposed to wear anymore. Because you see different uniform, this picture, even when they are not even serving in that unit, they are wearing that uniform. That must be careful. Then if you look at the Official Secret Act of 1962, there is something inside the act that is the Security Standing Order, the SSO. There are basic principles within the SSO. They need to revisit the SSO. Re-establish. Nigerian police has the provost marshal department. They need to, because that act, that SSO, talks about establishment of departmental security officer, in which different agencies try to interpret it and try to establish. They need to start implementing those things. There are a lot of information documents you see flying around. Information that somebody will give information to the police. The next thing, the information is out there. The accused is getting to know who came to report. All those things are spelled out in the Official Secret Act under the Security Standing Order. The SSO. There must be trained. They need to be retrained in that.
Abdul Malik in Alimosho. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kyari. Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Yes, and greeting to your guests in the house.
Mr. Adetayo.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Please let me just go direct. I will start from where Mr. George from Ikeja, handled. He made mention of something, that a serious government, for now, the MD of NNPC is supposed to have been, have been suspended, which is true. In a country where there's, it's serious, there's no nepotism. You understand? They're supposed to have done the right thing. And that is the way it's supposed to be. You see, we're being messed up, in the issue of, the drug, trafficking. That is the issue of Abba Kyari. But let me just say something concerning the fuel. If NNPC is serious and they want this issue of product immediately, there's not the NNPC, claim that they are doing 24-hour service. Not stop the truck, giving them a kind of a security, power overnight. And all this product will get to we get to filling station.
I agree.
They can accompany them with a security agent and all of them. And more so, like your journalist said, that's Sharon. You see, the product that is happening now is only in NNPC station. NNPC station, you see, where you get fuel. Most of the independent marketers, they have nothing. Well, let's give kudos to major marketers. It's only major marketers that they have jetty. They have depot that you can see their fuel. So a serious government, they know they are serious and they want this to come back. If not because, like what Madam Adab said, if not because they are trying to trick us, you know, you have a jack the fuel price up. They're supposed to have done that. Let the truck move overnight. Where all the station will get and this thing will go down. You know, that is the way. You know, that is my advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Malik, calling in from Alimosho. Back to security and well, I don't want to exaggerate it and say the unheard of that it's never been heard before. There are dirty cops. All over the world. There are dirty. Yeah. There are cartels within the police. Even in America, it was they bust these people from time to time, where high-ranking police officers, right down to operatives on the street, you know, the cops, as they say in America, pounding a beat. All of them are involved, but happily, it's not the rank and file. It doesn't spread. You can't use that to define the American police system. Can you bring that back to Nigeria as well? Because the Nigeria police is taking a bashing right now. It's not right, is it, that because of what?
One man,
Abba Kyari and, if you want, Abba Kyari / Hush Puppy, what they've done. That doesn't define Nigeria police.
No, at all. It doesn't define Nigerian police, and we need to understand this. You see, I know you must have encountered fine police officers in Nigerian police. There are lots of them, several of them. You go, you'll be surprised and say, oh, this is a wonderful day that I've had with the Nigerian police today. And until, you know, we also begin to celebrate people like that, you know, and use them also as example for those that are coming, the rank and file, or the police that come. There are a lot of good people. And when you are also good, we'll celebrate you. You know, that should also.
We should. And sorry to interrupt you, because this man, Abba Kyari, he was, I don't know how to refer to it. He was quite a social gentleman, going by where he was seen. He's a high-ranking cop, yet he was seen at all sorts of parties.
He's a guy I've had a encounter with. I can call him.
Some people say that is undercover work.
I've called him on several occasions, and then he picked the call and attended to issues that I called him on. So it's someone you would say a perfect gentleman. But beneath, it's just more like now a facade. You know, beneath what you see, beneath yes. that fine gentlemanness,
yes.
there are lots of things, ugly things happening. You see, you know, the amount of information that are coming up, yes. especially, see, after this,
sorry, sir. The point I'm making is that people like policemen, people like judges, you're not supposed to be seeing them at social parties, at Owambe parties, with arms around their shoulder.
They are human beings, but you are not supposed to be seen with some kind of people.
Okay.
You need to be careful the kind of people you associate with.
Because they form impressions.
Exactly. And also, it will compromise you.
Okay. Mr. Joshua in Irewale, good morning, sir. Sorry to have kept you waiting.
Okay, good morning, and good morning to your guest.
Indeed.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Sheyi.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, you know, the consistency you have had over time is talking about corruption, but maybe like the corruption within the system generally, we're talking about terrorism, banditry, and all those things in the north. You know, there's a spillover of such things right here in the south, or in the southwest and everywhere. Corruption, I told you, is something that we should make a national culture. Now we are playing around this matter as if it is not a big issue. Uncle Yori, as at now, it is a pandemic. And I'm saying this because the government needs to be aware. There is no employment anywhere. There are no jobs anywhere. Are you aware that people who are doing legitimate jobs are being scammed? And those that are being scammed are now the victims. You know, the person who scams you will go to the police, and at the end of the day, you that is scammed, you will now become the accused. You will now become the one that the police will go after you. The criminal is being protected. It is now in our system, and it's very, very deep.
Indeed.
Uncle Yori,
I hear you.
The matter that has just been exposed is a way for government to be aware that legitimate businesses are not allowing are not allowed to thrive any longer in Nigeria because people are compromised.
Indeed.
Corruption is a deep problem. We have to address it if we are going to move forward. If not, Nigeria is not going anywhere. Uncle Yori, please thank you for all these things you are doing. I hope somebody is listening to you.
Thank you very much. It's the nature of the program. Thank you very much for calling in from Ire Wole Dave there. Going back again to you were speaking that you were saying that we need to reform, and we've been at this whole police reform business. Even there was something of a reform with the when SARS was scrapped. When SARS was scrapped, I mean, the presidency, no less, the Inspector General of Police, no less, they were directly hands-on involved, addressing the public on this whole matter. But I don't know. Coming out of it all, this Kyari incident has happened. Now, I don't know. One could make an educated guess and say there might be other Kyaris, if you get my meaning.
Oh, definitely.
Other Kyaris that are still undercover right now within the police, and I don't mean undercover in a professional sense, that are unknown. And you were commenting on, well, when you see social media pictures of detectives, policemen, as you said, they are human beings as well. Yeah, of course. But when there's a reason for you to, in fact, now I remember reading, if it was not a lie, that even the Inspector General of Police's son was getting married. Kyari actually was able, he attended. So it goes to show you that there's an attitude with powerful cops.
No, let me explain.
Where's the professional attitude?
Let me explain this. If you are, holding an event and Kyari decides to come, will you stop him?
Well, I'll be surprised that he's decided to come because...
No. Let's say you are not aware of this one, that has not happened. You will not, you will be happy that, okay,
someone,
at least you have your guests, you attend to all your guests. So it was IGP who was, giving the daughter's hands out in marriage or so. You see, he's expecting several guests.
Yes.
Definitely members of the Nigerian police force will be there. Kyari might decide to attend.
Okay.
Are you with me? But you see, the problem here is that most of all these pictures were being even put on social media by him.
By him.
Creating this problem. He puts, I think about 80-something pictures of that wedding. So with him and several people. That was how people got to know that he flew on private jet with some people of, in quotes, questionable character that you may want to wonder.
So it's either he wasn't very smart
of his own problem.
It's either he wasn't very smart or he was heck overconfident. Reverend Dominic, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Yori. Good morning to Sheyi, your guest there.
Sure. Good morning, sir.
You said something I want to correct, and I may be wrong, I may be right. Yori, this particular matter defines Nigeria police. How? Nobody should shoot me. How? Yori, anywhere in the world, that young man, after suspension, knowing the sensibility of his office, to have been monitored by the security office, as a security expert. Anywhere in the world, he'll be under monitoring. Why are you monitoring him? To even see whether what you accuse him is wrong or right. Is there any way he's communicating to save himself? So if he's under monitoring by police themselves, he will not have this laxity to go to Enugu, go to Abuja, and talk to the NDLEA, sorry, because of the lapses in police. So he defied them. Let's go off from that. The GMD, George said GMD is supposed to be under subsession. The GMD have told Nigerians, if you listen to him yesterday in House of Reps, I'm afraid of this nation, they don't listen. GMD have told us that, why are they quarreling with him? That even the turnout they brought into Nigeria is more costly than the PMS. Did you hear him? Why are you quarreling? We're supposed to commend us. We brought a material that's more costly than PMS. Nobody is listening. You're many years till now, as an activist, as a pastor, and someone out there, I used to think that bad governance in Nigeria is leadership. I come to understand that the problem of Nigeria is not leadership, it's followership. If we're in a nation that people is conscious of what's happening, both Abba Kyari, both GMD, Nigeria will stand up to say, this is the way we want them to treat them. I called the Minister of Information. They couldn't direct my phone to him. Listen to me. I want to tell Minister of Information, we fought for this government. When we fought for this government and we want to bring it to power, we didn't believe that we do magic. but they will bring a different philosophy in governance. They will bring a different attitude in governance. The attitude of the FPC and the attitude of PDP. In fact, the FPC is worse than PDP. That's what I'm going to say. Lastly,
did you just say APC is worse than PDP?
Yes, I can. Let's quote me. I will give you many examples, but there's no time. This is what. In politics, there's what we call a scapegoat.
All right,
I want to 10 minutes of information.
Reverend, we've run out of time, but I want to thank you, sir, for calling in. Appreciate your call and your comments, and indeed the consistency with which you call, along with all the other people that have made the program theirs and will, unless they're traveled, they will call in. So really, to close on this now, it's not to close, to just sort of put the lid on for the time being while we observe what's going on. This whole business about Kyari wanted in America as well, and then he's now gone and created fresh trouble for himself. How is that going to be resolved? Will this be dispatched? The case here be dispatched with, and then we let.
I don't see Kyari being extradited now. The case at hand is much more sensitive. Like I said, see. We're only seeing the surface of this whole thing. There's so much that will be revealed. More so, drug war is about to be unveiled, both in Brazil and in Nigeria. So, and then also the American government are also interested in this case. Mind you, the DEA, that is the Drug Enforcement Agency, they are also working with the Nigerian NDLEA. They have been providing training and asset and the rest for them. So, and Nigeria is also part of this UNODC, which is being championed by the United States government. So, American government are also they're even much more interested in this particular one than even the other one.
You know, it's interesting that we're getting all this action now. President Buhari has 2 more years to go, right? Or he spends.
It's up to 2 years.
Well, he's done 3/4 of what he needs to of his whole 8-year term, and. Can you imagine where we would have got by now if within a year of his arriving in office we've been having this kind of high-level action? But maybe it's a coincidence. This thing has been left to, just...
Okay,
now, well, let me bring in Steve.
One of the callers says something about...
Let me bring in Steve from Port Harcourt, because he's on the line. Good morning, Dr. Steve. Dr. Stephen.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead quickly, please.
Thank you. Thank you for your program that helped us to participate in Nigerian politics and everything. Abba Kyari is just one of the officers. He's just one of them. We have too many Abba Kyaris in police. All of them doing the same thing. If you come to Port Harcourt, where we stay, you see that police people will arrest a young boy driving a car, then show him human parts, show him gun, show them cooking, show them Indian hemp, cut us and say, if you don't give us money, we will waste your life. And we will tell the world that this is who you are, and nobody will deny it.
Is that a story you heard? Is that a story you've heard?
I'm telling you,
because this kind of stories are on social media, or are you talking from a position of knowledge?
My son-in-law was arrested, and this was what they told him.
Okay.
They drove his car. Then one police officer carried the wife and said, go and tell your husband to play ball, otherwise we will waste him. And at the end of the day, they collected 1.5 million naira for nothing's sake.
Well, thank you for contributing that report. I've run out of time now, but I'm deeply appreciative of your adding this, Dr. Stephen, that these are part of some of the things that we have to really make sure we put behind us. I was making the point about all of these are coming, some would say conveniently, almost, around 2 years. He said, is it even up to the end of this administration? Is it that it could have caused too much trouble? Just a year and 4 months. Could it have, there are those who will be saying that, why didn't we start this a year into the administration? Very, very briefly, because I have only seconds left.
Someone said that NDLEA was in Conodrum or so before. No, NDLEAs, they've always been working. But you see, there are game changers, and that is who Buba Marwa is. And if you remember, when he was in Lagos, the way he changed things. So there are certain people, when they get somewhere, they turn things around. Even if they are working, they'll make them to work better. So he has brought efficiency, he has brought value and credibility to the organization.
I want to thank you very much, Sheyi Aditayo, security expert, who's been speaking with us almost an hour on the intricacies of the Abba Kyari indictment. So that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.